Hello, everybody. Welcome to Phonogenics 101. My name is Jeremy Gloff. I'm your host. We're here with the Madonna crew tonight. Before we get into the discussion, I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers. Even for $1 a month, you're supporting this podcast. And finally, I own the YouTube name. So go to youtube.com/Phonogenics101 and subscribe. Tonight, we already talked about the first album, Madonna. We already talked about the second album, Like a Virgin. I was a huge Madonna fan. I was 9 years old when Like a Virgin came out. I was so excited. All I did was think about Madonna. It changed my life. And I went to the grocery store and I saw this. And I said, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is this? Who is that? And that, my friends, was my introduction to the album we're going to talk about tonight, Madonna, True Blue. Before we go into the album, we had to backtrack a little bit. I was in Fantastic Sam's, where my mom used to take me to get my hair cut. And I was always so embarrassed that the kids in high school would see me, not in the cool hair place, but in Fantastic Sam's. So I always hid. And there was this really slow song on the radio. And it was Madonna's new single, Live to Tell. And that was truly the beginning of the True Blue era. Even though it was from a soundtrack, it was the first thing she came out with after the Virgin tour. So we'll be talking about that song a little bit later. But let's introduce our panels. I'll go around. Steven, where are you from? What's your relationship with Madonna? Tell us all about you.
New York City, Hell's Kitchen. I've been a fan of Madonna since I was probably 8 years old from the very beginning. And Who's That Girl was my first concert experience.
Wow.
And I've been along for the ride ever since. Every point of my life, I can basically connect to an album release. And probably like most of you guys. That's it. I'm a stan.
Well, I hope you join us for many of these podcasts. It's nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
Eric, welcome back. Tell us, how's your life going? How's it going?
It's okay. It's doing good. Yeah.
David, welcome back. Oh, by the way, Eric, you're in New Orleans.
Yes, I am.
We have David from Miami. What do you have to tell the Phonogenics viewers tonight?
Ian, what's the song you hate the most or love the most, so that I can give you the opposite reaction, so you can attack me? I'm horrible. I love those comments. I get my life.
Yeah. He's out there watching.
I
Jeffrey
know.
Dicker, he's on the Prince panel. He's on the Madonna panel. He's on the Lana Del Rey panel. Author extraordinaire in LA. Tell us your feelings about Madonna tonight.
Well, this is the era where she was pretty much perfect and did no wrong. So this is the era that we love to discuss. When we get onto it towards the hard candy and post era, that will be some very interesting conversations, and we'll probably lose a lot of friends. So we have to build them up now so that so that we're indispensable. So by the time that those albums roll around,
don't make me send you to Hard Candy Fitness.
Oh, good
don't worry. Nobody went there.
Oh!
In Mexico.
It was like, but they were big in Mexico. I just know it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm conflicted because True Blue really started with Live to Tell, but the album does not start with Live to Tell. So let's do the album in order. We'll do
Of course.
Yeah, we got to start from the beginning. So let's go back to this Rolling Stone cover. Back in the day, you didn't have the internet. When an artist was about to unroll a new era, and Madonna really invented the era. I mean, singers used to come out with new albums, but I guess David Bowie used to kind of reinvent himself this way.
Prince did it too.
Yeah, Prince did too. But this was a really big difference from Dress You Up on the Virgin tour, which is the Madonna I knew and loved at the time. When I saw this, I was shocked. I really was. I remember being in Tops Friendly Markets in Phonogenics, New York, seeing this magazine and, oh, what is this? So this would have been 1985, correct? No, 1986. So I would have been 11. And the new hair, there was an article that started talking about the songs that were going to be on the album. A lot of times you got the song titles first from these Rolling Stone articles that predated the album. So in the article, it said she was going to do more of a 60s girl group kind of sound. There was a song called Jimmy Jimmy. The first single was gonna be "Papa Don't Preach." I remember reading that, thinking like, what is a song called "Papa Don't Preach" gonna sound like? That's a weird title. So I was in my parents' van, and the song started. The string section, the beat came in, Madonna came in, and "Papa Don't Preach" there entered my life and has never left. So we have a song about teenage pregnancy. I think anyone watching this knows the story of "Papa Don't Preach." We don't have to. This isn't like Madonna for dummies. We're all fans here. So let's start opening up discussion. Who wants to go first? Talk about "Papa Don't Preach." First time they heard it, thoughts?
Loved it when it came out, but that was one of those songs that when you grew up with that being a new song, they played it to death because it was a huge hit, and there was very few choices on radio stations, and every radio station played it. So it's a song that, although I love, and I really liked it when it was new, I can't stand it anymore because I've heard it so many times.
I feel like her vocal on the song is very gutsy compared to how she sang before. Like her singing kind of reaches a new level here.
Yeah.
I mean, she's invested in this damn song. Invested.
I think it's the first time we hear her at the absolute limit of her range, and there's a raspiness, like a growl to her vocal that we haven't heard before.
Right.
And
Cher voice is gone, as it were.
Yeah, the Cher voice is gone. Steven, did you watch
Praise Satan.
Praise Steven, I don't know if you saw our first couple podcasts, but we did talk about
I did.
Oh, so you know about the Cher voice. Yes.
Yes, I know about the Cher voice. I agree. I hate I know it also.
Oh!
¿Qué te dije?
Yeah. I have notes.
Oh, I love it. So, how many of you walked up a flight of stairs with a jacket flung over you and pretend you were Madonna in the
course,
Papa Don't
ho.
Preach video?
The
Of
subway
course,
station.
ho. All times. Who hasn't done that? Bitch, I have mimicked all those True Blue videos, bitch. Let me hop on my car real quick and do True Blue here. And then make like a little cute Debbie Mazar next to me.
I think as a kid in high school, when you were insecure and you didn't quite have your own identity yet, you kind of borrowed her confidence and wore her attitude as your own until you developed your own. And I think that's part of what we love so much about her. And that kind of started during those years. For me, it was a True Blue years for sure.
Now, do all of you remember the first time you saw the makeover? What was your reaction the first time you saw the short hair?
At first, I was shocked because I was in love with the image I had of her, the slutty, New York waif that became more sexualized, like from who's that, the photographer that just released all those beautiful photos, Kenji from Japan.
Adore book? Yeah.
That was her until she chopped it all off and went with the True Blue look.
And I know there was a little bit of a transition because in the Live to Tell video, she softened she was more blonde. She had the softer curls, so it was kind of like the segue. But I wasn't prepared for the chopped off hair.
No.
Did anyone else have an opinion about the chopped off hair?
I kind of liked it. I liked it a lot. It was different. But like you said, in Live to Tell, she was super demure in that video.
That dress,
beautiful long hair. So I was like, yes, my bitch has long hair. Yes, yes, yes. For her to be, I was like, oh. But then I was like, oh wait, hold on, it works. Mm-hmm. It works. And then of course you see the Papa Don't Preach video and you're like, it's done. Look at this bitch. Let me pirouette my way all through this room and pretend I have a bustier on.
Now, how many of you had a VCR and you used to try to pause the VCR when her titty popped out and her nipple was showing?
I didn't care about nipples back then. I already knew.
I was like, no.
I'm not going to say I cared about nipples, but I did want to catch that moment, like when she goes back. Isn't that when it pops out?
Oh.
And I love her, even her dancing's different. When she, does dances during the chorus.
She's really giving it. She's really like selling it.
Yeah.
She served. Oh, that outfit. Oh, girl.
And we have the Italians Do It Better shirt, which later came back as Kabbalah. What was it, Kabbalah?
Capitalists do it better.
Oh gosh, you know the Pink Panther. You had a little Pink Panther stuffed animal, which I
did
love.
fall in love with the look though, the short blonde hair. By the time I saw the photo shoot that her Brits did with the jacket, you know, I think it was the cover, the True Blue cover photo
Right.
session. I was in love with her. The
Now-
whole look. I got over it by then.
And Danny Aiello, who played her dad in the video, had a solo career for like a quick minute during that period, and his solo song sounds just like Papa Don't Preach.
Really?
Because the day he died, somebody like revisited that song, and I was like, I was like, somebody was playing it, and I heard it, and I was like, is this a remix of Papa Don't Preach, or is it a demo or something like that? And then I was like, oh my god, it's Danny Aiello's song.
Wow.
So
Now I remember walking to the record store because back in the day you knew an album was coming, but you never saw what the cover looked like until you walked into the record store and buy it. You know, there was no internet, and the magazines didn't usually have pictures of the album covers. Like even up through Erotica, I never saw the Erotica cover until I walked in on October 21st or 22nd, 1992. Like I remember that day. The first time I saw the True Blue cover, which I got right here. You know, we all know the cover. This is so iconic. And the
Such a
first
great
time I
photo.
saw it, I was like, you know, I didn't know if it was like, is it upside down? Is she laying down? And, you know, when you see the full picture, which I kind of like that they cut it off. And I also like that there was no text on the front cover. I think there used to, when you bought the album, there was a sticker.
there was a sticker,
Yeah.
and the poster I think is the full.
But everything about this album is like perfection. Even like the font. I love like the cursive,
Love it.
the silver in her name, the poster on the inside, the blue font of the typing. I mean, am I being too nerdy here? I just freaking love everything.
No,
about
the
this album.
song lyrics all included on the sleeve.
The poster. Here's the poster.
So that picture, which obviously taken by Herb Ritts, not to take anything away from Herb Ritts, but if you look up some of his work, he does that look like Olivia Newton-John has that exact photo, as like it's the cover of her second greatest hits album.
Right.
So
Did he do it first with Madonna though?
say that?
Was Madonna?
No,
the
he did it first with Olivia Newton-John.
Well,
Yeah, he recycled that idea for Madonna. And in fact, I think he did it with like Raquel Welch. He did it. The head back kind of thing is like, sadly, is like he did it like a million times.
well, at least with the Madonna one, people finally got to see it, right?
Exactly.
Did she do it best?
Oh, Madonna did it best, right?
That's not for me to. That's above my pay grade.
Oh, I am not an Olivia Newton-John fan. Someone emailed me and they're like, "You should do Olivia." I'm like, "We're not doing Olivia."
Oh, I love her.
I love her too.
I don't even
Is
like
this
one
the photo. Is that the photo you were talking about? I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the similarity a little bit, but I'm gonna say Madonna did it better.
Yes, I'll agree with you on that.
Mhm.
Now, of course, you can't do any Madonna album without talking about her personal life a little bit. She was married to Sean Penn at the time. They had a wedding that was in every tabloid. Cher wore a purple wig to the wedding.
My friend was the photographer that Sean Penn beat up. Unfortunately, he's passed on. But
no.
he also was the one that was beat up by Prince. That was the song "Hello," and he made a lot of money off of both Prince and Madonna. In fact, his license plate used to say THX MD. I think it was MDNA or MDA, whichever, for thanks Madonna. Basically, like thank you for making me be able to afford this car.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Rest in peace, Vinny.
That's interesting. So her marriage to Sean, it was clearly when recording this album that she was inspired. Like you can just hear when someone makes an album that they're inspired. And I feel like you can really hear that she's in love. It seems like she really feels like her life is just going so well. You know what I mean? Do you ever think of an alternate universe where Madonna just stayed happy and, you know?
No,
No.
because
She's an unhappy
we
person.
wouldn't get like a prayer.
I
We
don't
wouldn't
know.
get like a prayer, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, there's so much we wouldn't have gotten. Power of Goodbye,
Yeah, I mean,
Frozen.
Nope.
Yeah.
'cause
We
when I
don't
was-
change anything.
when I was-
Everything was meant to be.
Yeah, I agree. When I was younger, you didn't know that Madonna would change again. So when she got the short hair and started doing like the cutesy "Who's That Girl" stuff, I kind of thought like, okay, this is what she's gonna be. But then she kept throwing us curveballs. Nope, she's back with like and then they never stopped really. You know what I mean? Which I loved, and maybe up until Hard Candy, no matter how crazy my life turned, it always made sense with whatever Madonna was putting out at the time. Like,
Agreed.
Ray of Light was my life changed and was so wildly different. And then this wildly different album came out that I never would have expected. And I think that started with True Blue. So am I getting too out there a little bit?
No, because we all like, my favorite album is Bedtime Stories. And
oh, I love that album.
That was my senior year of high school. So that whole album is marked. So yeah, you can always go back and look. I'm a diehard fan, and whatever she puts out, I buy 6 copies, and I do all that shit. And I still love all the new shit and all the old shit. So every time an album comes out, I know what I was doing, and there's always something special.
I agree.
Whenever she comes out with a new album now, we're gonna have to discuss it. That's gonna be a new tradition.
Oh yes, big time.
Okay, so, there's so much to talk about. Does anyone else have any thoughts? One thing I loved about Papa Don't Preach is Madonna's songwriting credit. Additional lyrics by Madonna. Apparently, she'd only changed a couple words and her name in
it. It was, ooh, oh.
Yeah.
Right, that was it. That's all it takes, though. Lucky her.
We've gotten credits for less.
Yeah, that's the truth. Who was the songwriter here? Brian Elliott. Additional lyrics.
Well, it started off as a poem, right?
I don't know.
Was it like a piece of work? It wasn't really a song.
Okay.
If I'm correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other thoughts on Papa Don't Preach before we move on?
What I wonder though was she actually pregnant at the time, or was she thinking about getting pregnant and decided to kind of break it to her fans that she was going to keep her baby, or was it just Madonna being, provocative and socially conscious?
There were rumors at the time, weren't there? Rumors.
I felt that. So, but at that, now looking back in hindsight, who knows if those were true or if it was just
Remember the Christian group that made the Madonna Don't Preach video?
Yeah. The pregnant ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, before I forget, before we change the song real quick, you notice that they had the impeachment trial and they quoted the Papa Don't Impeach tactic, that they were trying to blame Madonna on the resurrection instead of Donald Trump. And I was like, really, bitch?
I did hear them say something about that.
I was dying.
Yeah, they mentioned that comment about her saying that she wanted to blow up the White House.
Right.
And they ran with it. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I love that Madonna's still in the conversation. Yeah, she should.
Always.
All right. So Papa Don't Preach, we all love it, right? I mean, I know you're sick of it, Jeffrey, but I think you acknowledge it.
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm so sick. It's like one of those songs, if I never heard it again, I'd be too soon.
You see, I think I couldn't live the rest of my life without Papa Don't Preach. All right.
Any thoughts about the extended version of it?
Great, because I love it, and it's, oh my goodness, her 80 mixes do not get the credit because obviously they're overclipped by the 90s remixes, but these 80s clips, that was a good, yes, you better pull that cover out, boo, because that was a remix.
Didn't it break down to just like the bass and the drums with some
but it was so good.
They basically took all of the parts of the song that you don't notice by themselves because they're all mixed together. Right. And they give like certain instruments like a moment to shine that you can kind of focus in on it, and then they'll add like a flourish here and there. They might add a synth sound here that wasn't in the original, like the way they did the like the version. They did that, they do stuff like that. But all those 80s remixes had that. That was how they remixed them. Like they weren't brand new reproductions of songs. Right. They were basically the original
extended versions.
Where they brought up stuff from the mix that you didn't notice, like when we get to Live Step Bonita.
Isn't the B-side of that Ain't No Big Deal?
No, that was True Blue.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, that was True Blue.
Oh,
okay,
my
sorry.
bad.
The B-side of Papa Don't Preach, I feel like it's Pretender, but let me look. Yeah, it's Pretender.
Who told her to come through?
That's
All
right, you're
right.
that pretender.
Track 2. I remember the first time I saw the video. There's a peep show. There's a little boy, and Madonna's on a chair, and her hair is black. I'm like, oh my god, she dyed her hair black. I can't believe it. And then she leans back, and the wig comes off. And then she's got, for the first time, the cone bra with the tassels on her nipples.
Mm-hmm.
The song itself, I feel like she's selling this song too. Like, she's singing these songs with a force that wasn't on the first 2 albums, I feel like.
Mm-mm.
What do y'all think of Open Your Heart?
I like it.
I love it. It's probably one of my, it's so hard to say a definitive top 5, but it's in there for me.
Really? In
Nice.
the top 5?
Yeah, it's in my top 5. That and the 10-minute extended version of it.
I was just gonna say the remix. Oh yes.
10 minutes of Open Your Heart.
So good.
I couldn't believe that. I do not get bored listening to 10 minutes of that song. The
See, I
way
used
they
to
lay it
make
out.
my own songs to the dub version. Wasn't there a dub version
Mm-hmm.
on the B-side? So I used to create my own lyrics, and that was the instrumental, the dub version. Oh.
It's not a song for me that, again, they played it to death, and I was obsessed with it when it was out. I don't dislike it by any stretch. I just am sick of it.
There's the
You know
cover.
it was meant for Cyndi Lauper.
Really?
Open Your Heart was meant for Cyndi Lauper. There's a big,
It would have been a flop.
it would have been a flop. She wouldn't have had she had the voice, but not the essence.
The
But she's
top.
not sexual. She
No,
wasn't really
right.
sexual. She
deliver
could
that
not.
song. No,
But it would
I
have been
love
great
her.
to have her, be on interviews and go, "Open your heart."
Could you imagine? Good
Open
times.
Your Heart is responsible for giving us Donna Delory.
Open Your Heart is responsible for a marriage made in heaven between her and John Baptiste Mondino.
Oh, God, that video.
Yes,
Well,
honey.
my friend
He
Clark-
makes videos
My
for
friend
her.
Clark went to high school with Nikki, and she said she would do like a prayer discussion. So we'll see.
Ooh.
Really?
We'll see if it actually happens. Can you believe that? And I go out to
That'd be
dinner with
awesome.
Moira McFarlane once a month. So I'm gonna try to get Moira to stop in and just let us know how she's doing. She's awesome.
For next album, because
Yeah.
we gotta throw in True for Dare into
Yeah,
like a
we need
prayer.
all the special
So
guests. She's awesome. Great human being. Open Your Heart. I had something to say, but I can't remember. I remember when, because Like a Virgin and She's So Unusual were both iconic albums, and I thought it was interesting that Madonna had True Blue, then Cindy had True Colors, like how the 2 albums were kind of parallel, because they came out around the same time, didn't they?
yes,
And
6.
Madonna
yes,
had
but
Open Your Heart.
she.
Cindy had Change of Heart, which had additional lyrics by
nice.
Cyndi Lauper. So there are all these like parallels between the 2 albums. Looking back
I'm
on it,
thinking that one of the writers for Like a Virgin, I think, may have written True Colors.
yeah, he did. Tom Kelly and Bill Steinberg wrote True Colors. I love Cindy, but looking back, I would say that True Blue is a much more iconic album than True Colors was,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
by like 8 million points.
Oh, yeah.
Nice try, Cindy. She tried with that song.
But the album cover by True Colors is by Annie Leibovitz. So great
It's
photo.
That's a very cute cover.
Not
I'll
like
give her that.
the newspaper skirt on the back was cute.
Of True Colors?
Mm-hmm. But back to True Blue. We can't help go off on a tangent a little bit. I don't have too much to say about Open Your Heart except that it's like awesome. I feel like she did do the Cher voice a little bit in it. You look a little sad, boy. I wonder why.
I have never been so jealous in my life than that little boy in that video. I wanted to be him. And then, of course, he popped up in the Busted Tour, and I was like, why can that not be my life?
But the boy in the Who's That Girl video was a different boy, right?
The one in the Open Your Heart video is different from the one that got to dance with her on the tour. And
I
in the
wanted to be
Mitsubishi
both of them.
commercial. I read any of them.
Please, anywhere near her. I would have been so happy.
I feel like the Open Your Heart video has aged well too. Like if you look at it, it doesn't feel like totally 80s. You know what I mean? It's still kind of like sleek and sexy, I feel like.
I don't think I
That's-
ever don't watch it when it comes across in a feed or something. I think I always get stuck watching it. She's got this magnetism in that video. You can't take your eyes off her. You don't want to.
And you know, she had the short, cute hair in Papa Don't Preach, but Open Your Heart, it was almost like an Annie Lennox kind of thing going on there, with that like that's kind of spiky bleak. Like it was, her hair was short there, but she was also very feminine. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting how she kind of toyed with gender a little bit.
She made it work. She
Yeah.
always made everything she did work.
Everything worked. Everything.
The co-writer for Open Your Heart, Gardner Cole, ended up getting signed to Warner Brother Records as a result of that. And he and Patrick Leonard went on to become partners and wrote Jody Watley's Most of All.
Oh, I love Most of All.
That's a good fact. I didn't know that.
And
I
Patrick
didn't know that
Leonard
either.
produced Most of All, didn't he? If I remember correctly.
Yes. hmm
And you know what? We need to mention Patrick Leonard because this is the first album that Patrick Leonard. I remember reading the liner notes. You know, we knew Stephen Bray from Like a Virgin, but I'm like, who's this Patrick Leonard guy? And you know, little did we know that he would continue to write. I think he was Madonna's best songwriting partner. Honestly, I mean, she had some great collaborations, but if she could return to one, I think it's always Pat Leonard.
I think we all want her to revisit Pat Leonard
Yes,
and
please.
see what will they do now. Like, what could he pull out of her now?
Let's let Diplo go back to the DJ table. even though we like him, you know, but Patrick Leonard, dude. And then when he came back for like Ray of Light, and then his songs on that album even stand out on an album, you know what I mean? So yeah.
He did say something recently that during the years he was working with her, he was willing to experiment in the world of pop music, and he's not so interested in that anymore.
Right.
But something tells me that if she, you know, she's a type A personality. If she wanted to drag him in on something, I'm sure that she could convince him to
I
do
feel
it.
like they were friends a little bit. Like I know she moves on, but I think they created such important things together that there must be a little bit of a deeper level.
It's gotta be. There's got to be some kind of connection. I mean,
You know, just like even though MDNA might have not gone the way she wanted, I think her and William Warburton have something special too. You know what I mean?
because of Ray of Light.
Yeah, because of Ray of Light.
Yeah.
But then again, sometimes when Madonna goes back, it doesn't always work as well. Like, I don't think MDNA songs with William Warburton are even close to the level of like Ray of Light. And I don't know if
No,
Madam X
no.
is like the level of music or American Life. I guess we're skipping ahead.
I'm going to try to save my emotions for the MDNA conversation, because if I start now, I'll go off at a tangent. And
Do you like it or not?
you're
Like
not ready for that. For MDNA, just real quick, I'm going to say I feel about MDNA the way I feel about Gaga's Chromatica album. I felt like generic template dance music where she wasn't really inspired, but she had the producers make the music and she wrote and went along with it.
It was on
Kind of
autopilot.
You're right. I don't feel like it was just, it was like vapid. It was vapid. It was missing some kind of emotion that there was no, I didn't connect with her there and through that out, through her music there.
Yeah,
Except the masterpiece.
I have a complicated relationship with that album, so I guess I'll. Jeff X, you're here.
Madam X.
Madam
Yes,
X
I'm
is here.
I haven't put the video on because I look like La Isla Not Bonita right now, so I'm getting ready.
Put that. Oh, you're getting ready. You are going to turn it on eventually.
Yeah, I'll turn it on in a little bit, but I'm
Okay.
listening. I just got on. I'm listening.
Hey, I need to let my cat in. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. So has it officially started or no?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course, bitch. We don't wait for you, ho.
Oh, okay. No, because I know he said he was probably going to go on a little later. I saw a few people were going to be late. It wasn't just me.
All right. So, Jeff, you only missed Papa Don't Preach and Open Your Heart. Do you have anything to say about those songs before we move on?
Papa Don't Preach. I love the song, love the video, love her leggings with the bustier when she does this little twirl. I remember all the controversy behind the song. I don't know if you guys touched on that. If I'm not mistaken, this is Madonna's first song where she became politically social active, like, you know, using her music as a platform to attack issues that were current at the time. She hadn't really done that much before.
Only when she's saying "Love Makes the World Go Round" at Live Aid, but we won't count that.
Yeah, so I was like, I thought that was pretty cool because this is like, as you know, that's been a priority of hers in a lot of her albums. Is she uses her music to tackle social topics or politics in some way. But I love that song. I love the video. Open Your Heart. I didn't like it a lot growing up, but as I got older, I've learned to appreciate it, and I love it. And I love the video. I love the lyrics, and great songs.
All right, so track 1 and 2, both iconic, huge hits. We all love them. Track 3, I remember hearing whatever the fuck they're saying. Like, I still don't know what he's saying. There's like something from a movie, James Cagney, right?
Yeah.
This is on brand with her like 50s obsession with this album. It's was it from Rebel Without a Clue? Is that the name of the movie? Without a Cause? I don't even know.
Can't remember.
Bonnie Tyler had a song, and then there's the movie, so I don't know. Rebel, some kind of Rebel thing.
Isn't the movie called White Heat? That he.
Oh, is it called White Heat? All right.
I think so. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I've done a lot of drugs since then.
Yeah, someone's trolling the comments. I'm sorry that I'm not researched on this, whatever it is. But it's from an old movie, James Cagney, right?
Yes, that I remember that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was for him.
I feel like this song could have been a huge hit. This is another one that could have been. I think it
was a missed opportunity. It was a great song. I love it.
What do you think it was that failed? Do you think it was the music background for the lyrics and melody? Because the melody is great.
Well, they released like 5 songs from this album, and maybe they just thought that like they shouldn't release every song as a single.
Right.
And maybe she just wanted to move on as well, because at that time I think the windows between singles were a lot longer than they are now, where it's like half the album is out before the release date, whereas this one, or back then, it was like like a 2-year cycle kind of thing, and they had it spaced out exactly so that the song had a chance to breathe and become a hit and climb the charts. Now it's like if it's not a hit immediately, it's gone.
Yeah,
it's not really a single. If it's not a hit, it was just a, what do they call them? What do they call it? A buzz single. It's a buzz single if it wasn't a hit.
Deep cut.
And I think she had other projects to move on to, which we'll talk about. She moved on. She had Who's That Girl ready. She wasn't going to delay that. But if she wasn't so creative and productive at the time, I think she could have kept releasing singles off this that would have been hits. I feel like a White Heat video would have been pretty hot.
White Heat, hot.
You like that? And on brand with the podcast, we need to talk about the bridge. I'm not gonna hurt you, because I'm not that kind.
Oh, there's a show voice. There it is.
So we have a little bit of that. I don't have a ton to say about this song. To me, this song reminds me of that song that was kind of an outtake from Like a Prayer, The Angels with Dirty Faces. You guys ever hear that?
Yeah.
They're like good songs with like strange kind of lyrics that are based on movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I don't have much else to say about White Heat. I love it. I think it could have been a hit. Any thoughts on any other thoughts?
I like it. I don't hate it, but I like it.
All right.
It's cute.
Yeah.
I remember now that I have a friend who, when I used to work at this restaurant, he would play White Heat on his guitar for me. So
really,
yeah, he was a stand too, and he was straight. Oh my God!
There were those straight guys that loved Madonna. Like, it did exist,
Mm-hmm.
and not in a sexual way. Not that they wanted to like bang her. Like, they actually liked her art.
Yeah.
But were they? Sometimes I'm like, are you really straight? Like. My best friend had this husband. Like, Madonna was his favorite singer, and I'm like, I don't know. Oh, okay. All right, moving on. Dress You Up was a huge hit. Then Madonna did Live Aid, which the Thompson twins came out on stage with Madonna. And then she had a new single coming out that was a single from the movie that Sean Penn was doing, At Close Range. So this was Madonna's first Host Like a Virgin single. I remember the first time I saw the video, this song was slow. Like, he had Crazy for You, but Live to Tell didn't sound like anything that anybody else was making. Looking back, I think it's one of Madonna's best songs. Like, at the age, I was maybe 11, I guess I was 11 when it came out. And this is an adult song. Like, I loved it as a kid, but this is a song as you age, the song is right along with you. And I just get the chills even thinking about it. So, you all were huge Madonna fans. Remember the first time that you heard this ballad?
Yeah, it was around the time my grandfather passed away, so I always connected it with that, and it was released. I can remember the end of March of that year of '86, and so I remember the funeral was used not to be a downer. It's just a memory, but yeah. So I connected with that. I remember it's probably the most beautiful bridge of any song that she's ever done, of all her bridges.
There's a vulnerability in her singing.
I think that it's the crown jewel of her bridges, of her songs.
Yeah.
All she doesn't sing it. She doesn't sing it a lot either.
Let me tell you, that bridge slays souls.
Yeah.
And she wrote it. Come on. Like, one thing is like to perform a bridge and serve it, but she fucking wrote that shit and she felt it. Like, I don't give a fuck. She may not have the best voice, but that bitch emotes.
She emotes.
That's and when I heard that song, I was done. I loved it. It's a classic. You know what? I will attack all these Gen Z people who want to say that Live to Tell is a piece of shit, but I'm like, y'all. You don't get it. This song I realize a song.
I've never heard anyone put down the song.
Oh no, child. I have. I'm like, I was on my forum and we just finished the Madonna rate of all her songs. And they were already like, oh, when is Live to Tell leaving? Oh my God, why Live to Tell sucks. And I was like, wait. You don't want me to act like a boomer up in here, but...
Okay, I'm going to say something, and you all can disagree with me and tell me if I'm just getting old. I feel like the pre-internet generation dealt with emotions differently, and this is a song about raw emotion on the surface, that I feel like you don't hear this kind of emotion in music, or even I don't experience this kind of emotion at all anymore. Maybe because I'm older, because society changed.
I think they feel it. I don't think that they give it the attention. They kind of gloss over everything. Everything now is instant speed, move on to the next thing. I think that our generation sits with our emotions long enough to feel it, and we'll allow depression to take place and go with it, and then grow out of it, or use our art. If you're an artist, or you'll create something, and whatever it is you do to move past it. But we allow ourselves to feel what we feel. And I don't think this generation allows themselves to do it so much. And I think that's why a lot of them are so fucked up.
Yeah. And Steven, when you talked about your grandpa, you said, oh, I don't want to be a downer. But from my experience, a lot of the most painful moments of my life are tied to Madonna's music, because she gave a voice to like this pain that was just so terrible of being like gay in a small town. Everyone wanted to like beat me up and bully. Death, heartbreak. Like, Madonna gave a voice to it for me. So I think it's impossible to talk about Madonna for the way that we love her without talking about pain.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm getting like a little verklempt here. Like, I love her music so much. Like, so.
Me too.
Up to Hard Candy.
Right, yeah.
I know. Hard Candy is misunderstood. It is so misunderstood. And when we get there, I will prove it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm willing to be, I'll
bring the popcorn.
I'll bring the Turkish delights.
I bet you will.
I'm gonna be in my throne, my computer chair. Okay. Live to Tell, she did the vocals in one take, right? And she tried to re-record them, but she stuck with the demo. You can hear the paper in the background, the lyric sheet. If you listen close enough, you can hear it crinkling. Do you know what's interesting about True Blue? Because the first couple albums, you know, Madonna sang kind of the same on every song. But in True Blue, her vocal performances kind of varied from song to song. You got to see different shades of what she could do with her voice. Because, you know, she was so gutsy in the first couple songs. In a way she wasn't. I feel like on Live to Tell, she was vulnerable and soft in a way that she wasn't on Crazy for You or Love Don't Live Here Anymore. Like, this is a new level. And as much as I love all the later stuff, like Love It, I feel like there was a nakedness that was never matched quite like on Live to Tell. I mean, maybe Mer Girl, but do you guys feel like was she ever as vulnerable and naked in her songwriting as this?
She was definitely as naked.
Well, she was naked. Yeah.
You know, there was a softness to it that never repeated.
I only been able to feel that same softness and rawness, and This Used to Be My Playground.
Okay. I stand corrected.
We're all like, okay.
Well, and another thing that I feel like she just spit it out and puts her heart out would be One More Chance off Something to Remember.
Oh, I don't know why. I never
liked that vocal though.
That's fine for the vocal because she was just spitting it out for me, and I love it. Like
I
to
like
me, it's just like it's everything, all the emotions for me at least.
That's in my top 5 least favorite Madonna songs.
I know, but that's fine.
I think I related
I'm
to
the
it.
Stan. I'm fine with it.
But I'm gonna re-listen to it because maybe I need to give it one more chance.
Yes, please.
Clever.
You just lost another subscriber, Jeremy.
I know. There goes all my subscribers. Well, I think we could. You know, we need to mention the Confessions performance where she's up on the cross. That was an iconic performance.
I have to say, when that happened, I was like, turn it on, electrocute her. No,
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
There was the Blonde Ambition performance where they extend that bridge by like 10 minutes, right?
But it was the best. Yo, it's Oh Father into Live to Tell, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Live to, yeah, so it's just like
And tell me, bitches, if you don't hear Live to Tell, the extended Blonde Ambition version without hearing her do her press conference about Toronto. Wasn't that where it was mixed in Truth or Dare? Where she's like, I am an artist. All right. Does anyone have any thoughts on Live to Tell before we move on?
I think that's my favorite Madonna ballad of all time.
Oh, and Riatron wanted me to mention that it's his favorite Madonna song of all time. He'll be back for like a prayer. Here it is. Live to Tell.
Look at that face.
Look at that hair, bitch. Oh.
I'm sitting with that now.
I do not start a new year on Instagram without posting that picture of her. I'm like,
I'm sitting like Madonna right now with my knee up.
Oh yeah, but your knee has to be in your shirt though. So
yeah, I'm gonna stretch this shit out. But
I love it. Okay, so do you guys want to take a break before we move on to side 2?
Let's bang the shit out.
Let's bang the shit out. I know we have a lot to talk about.
Well, I wanted to say a couple things about.
Oh, I like your background, Madam X.
Oh, one thing I know. Well, number one, "Live to Tell" is my favorite Madonna song of all time. I know that song is used a lot and tied in with nuances towards the AIDS situation and loss due to that, and it's been used in a lot of programs. It's been used in a lot of documentaries and things like that. And to me, it's very personal. Like for Steven, I use it. It always reminds me of people that we've lost, in particular, a family member of mine who died of AIDS. And you know, when you hear the lyric, like I know that it has like several meanings, but when you hear the lyric, you know, a man can tell 1,000 lies. I've learned my lesson well. So that always spoke to me. And besides it being a haunting, beautiful song, I always loved how they finally took Madonna serious. Because when this was the first song off this album, and it was the first video off this album.
Yep.
And it was the first time the general public saw Madonna without all the excess makeup, all the crazy hair, all the, you know, bangles and all the crazy jewelry and the see-through lace outfits. Like, they finally saw her, you know, minimal makeup, you know, with the hair swept back in a 1940s floral dress, just simple under a spotlight. And they took her serious. People were like, holy shit, like she's got something to offer. You know, she's not just a flash in the pan. And I loved that, you know, because finally they realized what she was. And how do I say this? I felt like the first album was good, which is one of my favorites, as you know. It's probably it was one of my favorites, one of my best. Then the second album, you know, made her famous. But this album, True Blue, kicking off with this song, made her a bona fide star. This album is what catapulted her into the stratosphere.
And she stayed there for a long time.
And she stayed there. And it was due to this album and everything that came out of it, including Live to Tell. But I loved how she just switched up and made everybody look like they took a double turn when this song and video dropped. They were like, holy shit, she's for real. This is serious. You know, like she's an artist. And yeah, so I love this song. So
this is a little off.
They were like, she's not just gonna like, you know, show her tits and like go to like girly show dances and then she releases Open Your Heart video.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jeff,
she had something to prove with this album. And she proved it.
Absolutely.
I feel like if it wasn't, thank God that Like a Virgin was such a smash, because this was the first time we had a Madonna album. This was her input. She said, look, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want him, I want her. No, I don't need this person. So it was just like, this is where I'm going and let's do this.
Isn't it the first album where she co-wrote everything?
If you count her additional lyrics.
Including additional lyrics on Papa Don't Preach. But she was, you know, it was the first one where she was a writer or co-writer or additional lyricist.
Did she write Open Your Heart, or was that additional lyrics also?
I think she did get a writing credit, but
let me take a look.
I'll tell you what she got the writing credit for. It wasn't, she rewrote some of the lyrics.
I heard the demo of this. The demo's out there, right?
The demo is actually called Follow Your Heart, and it was about a vegan restaurant waitress named Lisa that I think either Peter Raffelson or Gardner Cole was in love with at the time. No, Peter Raffelson, because Gardner Cole was with Donna and Delory.
Okay.
Is that out there, the demo?
Yeah, I've heard it before.
Yeah, the Follow Your Heart, yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard it before.
It sounds very different. A lot of the lyrics are different. Madonna changed some of the lyrics, so she did actually earn that writing credit for that.
And she toughened up the song. The song's a little tougher, don't you think, on True Blue? But she had that heavier bass line and stuff, right?
She made it. Well, I mean, she made it more of a sexual hunger kind of a love song, where it wasn't quite that before. Like, you know, she just took it to places that only she can.
And this is a little bit off topic, but Jeff X was talking about, you know, how the song got tied in with a lot of AIDS things, and I just watched that It's a Sin show, and I'd recommend it to everybody. It was just a beautiful series about AIDS in London in the early 80s. I mean, it reminded me so much of me and my friends when we were coming of age. All right. So, True Blue, you flip over the album. You saw this, who's this Patrick Leonard guy? We knew Stephen Bray. And here we have a song that all three of them wrote together. Stephen Bray, Patrick Leonard, and Madonna, all writing a song together. And what they came up with, Where's the Party?
In Puerto Rico!
I was just going, ooh!
Now, you know, Where's the Party's a kind of a throwaway, feel-good.
A club classic is Where's the Party.
But I love it.
A club classic. It is like, it's a dance record. It's just for the clubs, and it's to feel happy, and don't look into it that hard.
I feel like it goes back to her first album, like the vibe of the first album, just holiday, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, True Blue needed one of those damn songs, you know what I mean?
It did.
And
I feel like this is one of those songs where it could have been so much better if the instrumentation was better, because the melody of the lyric, the bridge is all like, I love singing along with it, but I was aware listening to it that this is it's a corny fucking song.
This is another vocal where she really sells a vocal. Like she's not singing in her like a virgin voice here. She's giving it her all. I don't have too much to say about the song. I like it. I like the bridge.
I like it. It's just like a fun
remix was everything.
Yeah, the extended mix I like too. It always had a little bit of a freestyle-ish kind of vibe, like a freestyle pop vibe.
And as a kid, you know, I thought it was released as a single because they played it the hell out of here in Miami.
Yes. It
got a major airplay for something that is not a single.
This could have been another huge hit, I feel like.
Oh yeah, big time. She didn't need spotlight. Who needed spotlight?
I need spotlight.
Japan.
Bitch,
No, ma'am.
Don't even go there. Well, we are going to go there in about half hour. But the thing about Where's the Party is I feel like it's a feel-good song that actually feels good. Because, like, you know, you can try to construct a feel-good song, which I think she tried to do on MDNA. But on Where's the Party, like, it actually feels good. Like, it makes you want to drive in the car, windows down, looking for some fun. I never found it.
In trouble. but who doesn't play it on a Friday night? That was the Friday night song.
I sometimes it's one of those songs I play when I'm getting ready. I'll add it to my getting ready playlist. I already have it on my getting ready playlist. So.
Yes, I've heard it.
I don't have a getting ready playlist because it takes me like 1 minute to get ready.
Oh.
I know, I'm such a scumbag.
I'm like, naturally, put together. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Naturally a mess.
Right.
I'm the Courtney Love of the group. I'm like shorts and t-shirt. Okay. Early, like punk Courtney, not Hollywood. All right. Well, I have nothing else to say about Where's the Party. I like it.
Wooden necklace.
The wooden. Yeah, we'll be talking about the big wooden necklace coming up a few albums from now. Okay. So when Rolling Stone came out with the article and they said her next album was going to be called True Blue, I thought that was such a weird album title. I couldn't visualize what that would look like or sound like. And the song itself, Madonna used to come out with these like really romantic, cute songs. And I just bought this pin on eBay. Look how like happy and like she's looking up and so cute.
Yeah.
Like I missed that.
Oh,
she's watching money fall from the sky that she's collecting.
I think that True Blue is just an adorable song. You know,
I love it. It's one of my favorites.
I didn't need the Rebel Heart ukulele version. Oh, thumbs down? Okay. Well, looks like this is going to be a controversial one.
I think True Blue is a beautiful song. It's a great song, but because it is so tied in with Sean Penn, I hate it.
Okay.
That's why I like it.
No, I fucking hate that bastard, and I will probably drop dead still hating him, so no. True Blue is a great song. It's beautiful. When she played it on Repel charts, I loved it. It brought back such nostalgia, but with the nostalgia comes back everything that she went through around that era, and I'm like, no ma'am, fuck you, True Blue. I still love you.
I skipped.
I love that song, and I love that I know it was written for Sean, and I mean the whole album was based around Sean, basically.
Coolest guy in the universe, or whatever she says.
Yeah, and I got emotional when she sang it, and he was in the audience a few years back during the tour, and he was there with his daughter, I think it was, right? And she sang that acoustic version. Was that the same as the ukulele version?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
I think it was in New York City.
Yes, and I loved it. Debbie Mazar was there, and I loved. They were all in the audience, and I know she dedicated. I mean, everybody knew Sean was there, and she, they kind of glanced at each other, and now that they're older, and I mean, that was her true love. It still is. Even Debbie says it. They've asked her that. She's like, I'd like to answer that, but it's Sean.
What's she saying? Truth or dare? Who's the love of your life?
Sean.
Yeah.
Your mama.
And
your mama.
I have my own true love, so I know that feeling, and I can relate to that. That even though you can't be together or even don't want to be together, you still have that emotional tie somewhere in the universe to that person for the rest of your life. And so I relate to that song, and I relate to her and Sean's crazy relationship and all of that. It's very personal for me.
Well, I'm going to share something. I've always wanted true blue love in my life. You know, being on the car, the sunset. But all I've got in my life was the damn make your own video MTV version. That's what I got.
Can't hear you.
Oh, I missed that. I was wondering we were going to mention that. That was a cute little contest they had.
That was horrible.
I just saw the commercial for it earlier today when I was doing some research for this. It was cute.
Jeremy, I'm sorry, my audio went out. What did you say? You said I always wanted a true blue in my life, and then I lost you.
Okay, I said I always wanted a true blue romance in my life where I was sitting in the car, the cute guy, the sun coming up. I said, but all I've ever had in my life was the MTV make your own video version. Black and white, only got a couple plays, low budget, no Madonna.
But it was a cute contest. And what did they end up winning? Money and concert tickets?
Yeah.
$25,000. A shitload of Twix candy bar.
Oh, yummy.
And I think synthesizers.
They were big.
Synthesizers, Twix candy bars, $25,000, and Levi's 501s.
Now, I can't speak for anyone else, but I didn't see the real video for years because MTV just showed that make your own video, and they didn't really show import videos when I was a kid. So I feel like I didn't see the actual True Blue video until like 91, 92. Did you all know the real video till later, or am I the only one?
I didn't have MTV, so I didn't see videos until, I mean, I saw like a video here and there, but like, I did see Madonna videos and Prince videos, but like, I feel like I missed out on so much because I never had cable.
No,
so I saw
I
like
watched
what was like available everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
I first saw it at my cousin's house.
VH1 for me.
Here.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, does anyone have any other thoughts on True Blue?
I just want to say that my record skipped, and so it was like at the end of the first chorus, and so instead of saying "True Blue, baby, I love you," and then it started the next verse, it skipped from like "True Blue" into the second verse, and like when I hear that song to this day and it doesn't skip, my brain like doesn't know how to process it.
I kind of put True Blue and Cherish in the same category of Madonna song a little bit. I feel like she tried to do that with Superstar on MDNA, but it just didn't work. She tried to get that cutesiness back, but
they do have that similar sound, kind of like Janet's "When I Think of You" and "Escapade."
Sure, and even Runaway a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
they're like on that whimsical. I don't know. Sounds like a fairy tale, fun like movie. I don't know, type song.
Now we are all going to meet to talk about Janet someday, aren't we?
Of course.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't started those.
Oh my God.
There's only so many days in the week.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So something weird happened in my hometown. I remember hearing La Isla Bonita on the radio before True Blue ever came out. And I knew it was Madonna's voice, but I didn't know it was her. I'm like, what's this song that sounds like Madonna? It was weird because they played Cherish on the radio before Like a Prayer came out. So I wonder why the radio station was getting these weird album cuts. But so I heard this before True Blue, and I thought it sounded like Madonna, but it didn't sound like anything she had done at that point. And I didn't really care for it. And then when I heard it on the album, it was Madonna. This is a song that she's freaking done on every single tour, basically, right? I like it, but it was never one of my favorites. Apparently, it's one of her favorites. It kind of was her first foray into the more Spanish sound, Latino culture.
It was her first. Was it in her first one where she mixed in Spanish with the English language?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time. I mean, Madonna's known throughout the rest of her albums to use different ethnic, cultural music into her music, and I think this was also a first for that as well.
They call that cultural appropriation.
They didn't call it so then, though.
Yeah.
Now everything is a reason to be offended.
Yeah, she'd probably actually be in trouble for it if she put that out now. But
Madonna would be in trouble for a lot.
She set the precedent early on in the 80s.
There's a lyric. There's a lyric in La Isla Bonita where I think now new ears might get offended by it when she says, where a girl loves a boy and a boy loves a girl, as if that's the only type. I never gave a shit when I heard that, but I can see now in this climate, if it was a new song, that someone's going to have something to say about it.
Oh,
it would be ridiculous. I mean, straight people exist.
And if just get offended so easy.
And if they did, the artist should come back and say, look, fuck the fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, and earlier David mentioned the Generation Z. I don't think it's Generation Z. It's usually millennials. Generation Z is younger, and they seem to be more receptive to our generation and our culture and our era. I've noticed that.
Without going on to a huge tangent, how do you all feel about appropriation? I think it's okay to be inspired by different things and to work them into your art.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like as a white person, if I went to have Mexican food, would people be pissed off at me because I'm like eating Mexican food? Like, what? I mean, I feel like that's what millennials or these young people are doing. It's like, oh my God, she wore her hair in a particular style and it's offensive. It's like, oh my God, why?
Nobody owns a hairstyle. No.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if she's making like if they're wearing it in a particular hairstyle and they're saying like this hairstyle is really ugly, but if you're just doing it to like have a new look, why not?
I think if you're not being offensive to the cultural source material, then there shouldn't be a problem. If you're using it to be offensive, yeah. But if there's no thing offensive, then there's nothing to be offended about.
And what if you pay, you give acknowledgement to where the source material is? Do you think maybe some things might have been lost if people didn't appropriate them, or, that's how things get carried on?
A lot of stuff, a lot of culture would never have been introduced to people that would not have otherwise had access to it.
I mean, can you all imagine a world without the Spanish guitar breakdown and deeper? I don't like that world.
Well, I mean, like even if you're going to talk about cultural appropriation, I mean, when Madonna basically ripped off Marilyn Monroe, back then they just called it ripping off.
Yeah.
But I mean that look introduced Marilyn Monroe to an entire new generation, because I wasn't around when Marilyn Monroe was doing her thing, and I thought Madonna was, doing it originally, and then you saw it. Exactly. Oh. That's cool.
Did you guys ever end up on that website of the girl that listed like 500 different ways Madonna ripped her off? She was like some nobody. She had all these lawsuits. You guys know who I'm talking about? I can't remember her name.
I don't think so, no.
I know, but that's funny.
I've seen one about all the things Madonna has ripped off from other cultures, from other whatever, celebrities, cultures, whatever. But
the first time I ever heard of cultural appropriation was one of Gwen Stefani's videos where she had the...
Oh, yes, What You're Waiting For.
Yeah, What You're Waiting For. That's the first time I ever heard of that, and I was like,
I love that song, by the way. Yeah. I got so many speeding tickets because of that song in Miami. What You're Waiting For. Tick tock, tick tock.
Gwen Stefani.
Remix.
Oh, man.
Remix was everything. We go on a tangent.
Yeah, we go on a tangent.
Okay, La Isla Bonita. Her ode to the Spanish people, to my Latinos. That's how I saw it.
Correct. It's one of those songs, it's not one of my favorites, but of course I love it. No. You almost can feel the breeze in the song. You know what I mean? Like, you can see the sunset. Like, it's... I remember
For me, it's a personal fave. For me, it's a personal fave because, like I said, when you're young and you're gay, but you don't know you're gay, but you're acting really gay.
Okay.
So I mimicked this whole video. I done lit candles on the ground. I tied my red bed sheet around my waist. Yes. And then I had like a yellow towel around me. And then I laid myself on the floor and I did the whole theme that she's on there. And it was just like, and my grandmother must have been like, this little faggot, I can't with him.
Remember, wasn't like, her hair was darker in the video, right? For the first time?
It was like a brownish color.
Wet.
Yeah.
I never saw the video.
That was not a cute look. I was like, girl, please.
I think that wasn't in her natural color.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's her natural color.
That was one of those ones I never saw the video until like 20 years later because I never had MTV and I, for some reason, missed it and was like, no way, there's a video for La Isla Bonita? And everyone's like, hello. Yeah. I mean, the song is another one. I mean, all the songs, so much of her hits from the 80s, they played the shit out of them on the radio. And so I'm like sick and tired of them just because you couldn't escape it. But La Isla Bonita was not one of my favorites. However, I liked the remix when when she's like, and a boy loves a girl.
I forgot to show this.
Everything.
The True Blue. And then Record Store Day, they came out with the True Blue a couple years ago. Jeff X, who loved the True Blue extended version?
Oh, Lillian from Dance Party USA.
You should message her and tell her that we're still gonna be talking for a while in case she's home. She can
I know, right? I figured she'd be on before me. I'm like, I know she was trying to make it. She probably thinks we're already done.
I'm gonna send her a message.
Yeah. Let her know, hey, we're still on. We're not even halfway through.
Yeah. Are you guys okay? We still have a little bit to go. I have nothing else about La Isla Bonita. Any thoughts? Anybody else before we
love the song.
An AC staple.
Yeah.
One of her first AC huge smashes. So, and it's streaming like nobody's business. Who is still playing La Isla Bonita like 80 years later? But it's getting massive streams on YouTube and Spotify. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I love the song. It's actually, my mom's not a big Madonna fan, but she loves, this is her favorite song by Madonna. And I love it. Isla Bonita is beautiful island. A lot of Latinos are island people, so we all related that to our specific island. Well, David over here is Cuba. Ours would be Puerto Rico. So a lot of these songs were in our culture. They were like used for that. You know, they'd be used in commercials or things like that. So I don't know. It spoke to me. And then being an island being part of my culture, I relate to it. And then the music and everything about it, it just speaks to me. Like you said, Jeremy, it has like that breezy, summery, tropical vibe. You just get that automatically from hearing the song. And I loved it. And I still do. It's one of my favorites. I love the extended version when it opens up with the back vocals. And then what I also loved is when it was redone on Glee by Ricky Martin and oh my God, she just passed away. The girl from Glee just passed away. Played Santana.
Naya Rivera.
Naya Rivera. Oh my God, yes, Naya Rivera and him, because he was her Spanish teacher on the show, and then they had a dance break scene where they performed an updated dance version of it in English and Spanish, and they did an amazing job. I love that version as well. Like, not many people can remake a Madonna song, but the version that Glee cast did with Ricky Martin was really well done.
Does Lillian check her personal
and I listen
page?
to it when I go on vacation too, by the way.
Does Lillian check her personal page or her page more, Jeff?
Probably her personal page.
I don't have the link to that one. I just have her page.
The blonde hair.
Okay.
I can. Did you message her or no?
No, I didn't.
Do it right.
Yeah, give her a message. I did not.
All right.
You'll message her?
Yeah, I'm messaging her right now.
Now, you know how we grouped Cherish and True Blue in the same songs? I feel like La Isla Bonita started a thread that maybe even carried on all the way to Medellin from Madame X, in a way. So, this was the beginning of a thread that would continue throughout her whole career.
That would honestly continue a couple of months later, because then she hit #1 with Who's That Girl? And that had all Spanish influences.
Who's That Girl? Deeper and Deeper.
Spanish Eyes.
Yeah,
Spanish Eyes.
Let's not
and then
talk
she
about
did UC. And then she did UC in Spanish also.
Yep. Verás.
Let's not talk about Spanish lesson. Let's not go there.
No.
Well, why do a lot of people don't like that song?
It's horrible.
Ouch.
You like
it's
that song?
repulsive.
Eric, you like
I like it.
I love it.
It's I can't. It's because I'm Spanish, and that Spanish is horrendous, and it's just too much. It's as far as it goes.
Now, I thought you were here to convince us that Hard Candy was misunderstood, and you're not selling us with this.
That's not the song I'm going to prove Hard Candy was misunderstood with. Please, I know better.
By the way, you guys know what, not to go back to the last track, but you do know when she says at the end of Isla Bonita, right?
No, what's she saying?
When she says "Él dijo que te ama,"
which is
You
busted
know.
Spanish as well.
No, it's good. It wasn't bad. And she's saying he told you that he loved you.
Oh.
So that's what she's saying. She's like, he told you that he loved you. But all right, so
Okay, so then, you know, in the Rolling Stone article that came out before the album, it said that she has a pair of 50s girl group throwbacks, True Blue and Jimmy Jimmy.
Oof.
So I'm like, what are these gonna sound like? Now, I'm gonna say before anyone else goes in this, I love Jimmy Jimmy. Love it.
I love Jimmy Jimmy. I love Jimmy Jimmy because everybody hates it. I love Jimmy Jimmy for that reason, and because it's a cute little bop.
I don't think it's a throwaway
people
at all.
Always are trying to look for more in it, and I'm like, no, bitch. It's a cute song. It's stupid. You go through it, and that's it. Why do you
Get
expect
over
so
it.
much?
It's
Yeah,
a cute
exactly.
bop. It's a cute bop, but it reminds me of someone we both know with that name.
Well, this is how she felt about it at the time. She said, and I quote, "I used to fantasize that I grew up in the same neighborhood with James Dean, and he moved away and became a big star." And that was basically her quote that she said about writing the song Jimmy Jimmy. So she wrote it for James Dean.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Jimmy Jimmy.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So she wrote it for him.
David's bopping away.
And and for Where's the Party, not to go back, but I just found this. She said it was her ultimate statement about what it's like to be in the middle of all this press stuff with everybody on my back, my world about to cave in. Whenever I feel like that, and it does get to me sometimes, I say, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be having a good time here. Right. So where's the party?
Very true.
It doesn't have to be this way. I can still enjoy my life. And that was what she said about writing Where's the Party and Jimmy Jimmy. So
isn't it interesting that Stephen Bray was the collaborator on these 50 songs? Like, I didn't peg him for like a 50s throwback kind of guy from his work on the earlier stuff. And sorry to interrupt you, Jeff.
Me?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have thought so either.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that around this time, there was a lot of controversy swirling her, with Sean and the wedding and this and that. And
the poison pens.
Yeah, the poison pen.
The Shanghai Surprise. Oh.
Shanghai Surprise.
Oh. But she looked beautiful.
They did look beautiful. Oh.
And then I know a couple of her close friends and former dancers had gotten sick with full-blown AIDS. And I know she had gone to see them at the hospital or something, and it turned into a big ordeal. The tabloids were slamming her. Then they were like, I think they were, don't quote me, I might be wrong. I think they were even saying that she might have the AIDS. And,
yes.
And right. Yeah. And then they were attacking her with that. And Sean, because Sean would accompany her, holding her hand to go, visit her friends in the what they would call the AIDS ward, a wing of the hospital. And then her and Sean would go visit the friends and help, keep them company or take care of them or whatever they needed. And then they both got slammed for that. They got attacked, and then they were talked about as if they had it, they were going to spread it to people. Anyone who's come in contact with Sean Penn and Madonna, be careful, you're going to get it.
That's horrible.
So ignorant, man. It pisses me off.
Well, I mean, people were scared out of their minds. There wasn't a lot of information yet.
Yeah.
At that time, it was 1986. I mean, we're talking years before, that was before AZT, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing. They didn't know anything, but they knew that. I mean, the people that took the time to get educated knew that you couldn't get it from a hug or a handshake or a kiss on the cheek
or a coffee mug.
Yeah, and she jumped into bed with them and gave them hugs and kisses. And I know, you guys know, around this time, she never publicly did it, but she did drug runs in the middle of the night to Mexico to get holistic medicines to see if it could help save her friends. She was doing, I didn't know that. Yeah, she was doing runs in the middle of the night to Mexico to get certain things to see if it would help her friends. And unfortunately it didn't. but she was like so desperate, trying to do whatever she could in her power to help save them. And this was around this time as well. So it's amazing.
I want to pay for HBO Max for all of you, because that not documentary, but the series I was telling you about, It's a Sin. It has a lot of the music we love, but there's a scene where the girl just keeps washing this coffee mug. Then she goes to bed and she thinks about the mug, then she puts it in the trash. And like there's a whole like 10-minute sequence. It's so powerful because that's what the world was like. You know? I remember moments in my own youth. And I feel like things didn't even get better till the 2000s. Like people forget the 90s were still the dark ages in some ways.
The stigma lasted so much longer than it needed to. Yeah. I mean, it was already a manageable disease that, with medications became chronic, and people were still behaving with the stigma of a death sentence. And, it was insane, especially working with the HIV community and doing case management. There were times where I had to literally go to do an intake out at people's homes because they were afraid to be seen walking into the building where I work because someone might peep them and know that if they're coming into my building, they're coming for services.
I remember being afraid to get seen going to get tested. Like I used to run from my car into the facility because I was afraid people would see me. That's ignorant as fuck. You know what I mean? But like that's just the reality of. I don't even think maybe we acknowledge to ourselves the trauma that we experienced as gay men growing up when we did.
But we had True Blue.
We had True Blue. And I have the piano book here, and it has these cute pictures that weren't in the album. But look at this one.
Is that from the sheet music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like the picture. I like that picture.
Yeah, there's a couple other outtakes in here.
I love that. That's one of my favorites right there.
And then I have one more I'll show.
And then Gaga did one just like that, remember?
Yeah.
Not as good.
I love these two. The
wet look, yeah. So, that was for the Open Your Heart cover, right?
Yeah.
Papa Don't Preach.
Papa Don't Preach. Papa Don't Preach.
Papa Don't Preach, okay.
All right, well, we still have a little bit to go. We might not make it to Who's That Girl, right? Can we do it? All right. Love Makes the World Go Round. She's singing on Live Aid. It's not that good. Let's move on. No, I'm just kidding.
Sucks. That's it. Bye. I didn't like it. And to think that I was scared to think that was going to be the next single.
It was supposed to be the first single from True Blue.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank God.
That was a good decision, whoever decided to scrap that, because... Can
you imagine that song instead of Live to Tell? Like, what the...
Oh, God.
No, it would have been like Give Me All Your Lovin' as a first single.
Ugh.
But, I mean, off this album, there was one of my favorite, really quick, was one of my favorite demos, which was given to Nick Cannon, which was Each Time You Break My Heart.
Right.
And I love that song. I love her version of it. The demo is great. I think her voice cracks and she even almost sounds like she's crying towards the end of the film. I mean, the end of the song as she's recording it. If you listen closely, it does sound like she's like she's crying. Her voice cracks and everything. But I mean, I know that was towards Sean, and I know she left it out and then she gave it to Nick Cannon overseas, and Nick Cannon had a hit with that. I love that track, but what do you guys think?
Love Makes the World Go Round reminds me of You're Feeling Hot, Hot, Hot. Like it has that same feel.
Yeah, it does.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
We discussed this during Like a Virgin, and I feel this is kind of the same thing where it's like there's so many hits, and then like all of a sudden it's like they just like ran out of ideas, and they were like, we had this song laying around, let's put this on there, like tack it on. Like it doesn't fit at all in a way. I mean, it sounds like musically, it sounds like some of the other songs, but it's just like these other songs are so strong and this one's so weak. It's weird.
I think she believed in the message at the time.
The message is good. It's just like it's just a weak
execution.
I mean, when you have like all these all the hits, and then there's
iconic songs. Do you know what I group this song with? I group her with that damn Hey You that she came out with. Like, just bad social justice songs.
Social justice.
A mess.
And I have one final thing to say about Love Makes the World Go Round. It's easy to reside. It don't mean a damn.
Mess.
I never skipped it. Even though it's my least favorite song, I like how the started with the bass line, but I always listened all the way through to the end. I never skipped the damn song when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't skip it either.
I don't skip it.
Skip
I
it
do.
either.
It's probably my least favorite song on the album, but I like it better than some of my other Madonna. Like, to me, it's not like a Spanish lesson. Like, you got to get up and change the track. I can play it. It's not like Half a Rebel Heart, the bad half.
There's only a few Madonna songs on any album that I ever dislike so much that I have to skip it.
Right, same here. Especially up through like the classic era, you know what I mean? Which to me is the first album to Confessions. Maybe Hard Candy.
Yeah, I think there was only one song on Ray of Light that I had that with. And that
What song was that?
Candy Perfume Girl.
Yes.
Really?
I
like
that
it.
Automatic skip all the time.
Why?
Trash.
It just, I mean,
For that album.
what is it even about? It's one of those few songs I can't even figure out. Like, what is it about? Is it about the people, the attendants in the bathroom of the club? Like, what is it
Our
about?
girl wrote that song.
Yeah,
You know that-
Susanna Melvoin
Susanna.
wrote it from the Prince universe. Which
Yeah,
no
I don't know.
Skip.
I can't relate to Skip. Skip.
Wow, interesting.
Skip.
I love Candy Perfume Girl.
Me too.
It was like one of those, like, because in the
And that-
90s they always had songs that had weird lyrics that didn't make sense. Like,
And
all
that
those
demo
run-
thing that just leaked out not too long ago is like kind of a different little mix of it, which I like too.
it's heavier.
Yeah.
Causing a commotion.
That song. Oh, well, we're not there yet. Are we doing who's that?
Are we done with True Blue? I give it 10 out of 10. Even the weak tracks, the world couldn't. It's one of the best pop albums of all time.
Ever, for sure.
Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
I'll give it a 9 out of 10 also.
Okay, you're all
Giving it,
talking me
yeah,
to
9
9.
out of 10.
Eric, what do you give it?
It's no.
I'll give it a 9.
9.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah, same.
9. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna conform. I'll give it a 9 because
No, you stick to your 10. Now hush your mouth and stick to your 10.
there's some 10s coming up in the future, and she still has higher to climb than this. As good
I'll
as
take
it
some
is-
sixes in
Definitely.
my future.
Yes.
All right, We got-
Because the next album is a 10. So
Yeah.
we just-
the next few. Do we have another half hour in us to finish off these other stuff? Are you guys okay? Or do you want to call
I'm
it?
down. I'm down.
I'm down.
Okay.
down too. We got to get into Who's That Girl. There's
You
3
walked-
songs we have to get into.
That's
You want-
You
Spotlight.
can dance,
right?
and you can dance.
We can skip Can't Stop or Don't Stop or,
Yeah,
or Can't
that's the
Stop.
4th one. Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
my guilty pleasure song.
I love Can't. All right, we're skipping.
I
You walked into the record store, and there you saw these eyebrows, the caterpillar, and I'm like,
I like my
what
eyebrows.
the hell is this? Now, I think I said this on an earlier podcast. Madonna wrote the best bridges of all time, the Madonna Bridge. And I feel the Madonna Bridge was never stronger than it was on her songs from the Who's That Girl soundtrack. The bridge on Who's That Girl, the bridge on Causing Commotion, and even Can't Stop, I think are her best. Catchy as fuck. Like, it just doesn't get any better songwriting. I love all 4 of these songs.
The
And
bridge saved.
the Cher voice
bridge
makes a
saved
triumphant
Causing a
return.
Commotion.
Where's the
The
Cher
bridge.
voice in these?
It's in there somewhere. I can't. My brain is now.
We'll get it.
Push.
I got the moves, baby.
Look, that bridge saved the song because the song was already into the groove part 2.
Causing a Commotion?
which one? Causing a
Causing a
commotion.
commotion.
No. I'm
Wow.
not
Oh my goodness. The parallels between that song and Into the Groove.
They're
Come on.
very similar. I thought they were similar.
Yes.
Really?
It was like
I thought they were similar. Yeah.
Well, she does say get into the groove.
well, there are the other things that just make it seem like, hey, this is, Into the Groove part 2. But Deeper and Deeper was like another Vogue part 2. So it's
Yeah.
like she's done that before. So
She had the
I like
flamenco
those songs though. I'm a huge fan of Into the Groove and Causing a Commotion and those kind of songs. I love those dancey club pop songs. Like that's what I always want from her. I expect that from her, either that or heart-wrenching ballads. And when I don't get that, I get pissed.
You see, you know what
And
took Causing,
remixes.
yeah,
yes,
the remix.
remixes.
What took Causing a Commotion to another level for me from Into the Groove was the bridge. I hope you find what you're
What
looking
you looking
For
That was a little bit of emotion that
It's about her. It's about her, the abusive relationship between her and Sean Penn. It was written at the time when she realized they weren't going to make it.
It just seemed like a little bit more vulnerable to me.
But
Yeah.
But I thought it was more when they were, if they got together, they'd be causing a commotion. Because, you know, he's a big star, she's a big star. If we get together, we're going to get people talking about this shit. So,
You see,
and they did.
She could have meant like causing commotion, like fighting with the paparazzi.
Exactly.
That's part of that too, yeah. Causing a stir.
Yeah.
And they did cause a stir, that whole relationship.
And I know where the Cher voice is. I got it. So blind I can't see.
I told you it was in there.
So we had the 12-inch single. I actually loved the Who's That Girl remixes and the dub version and everything.
So good.
I played that
So good.
They're so
But
fucking good.
what happened to the budget in the video? That video was a mess.
I love this causing a commotion cover. Like, I just freaking love it. Oh my god.
You know, the first time I ever saw the video to Who's That Girl was on that Madonna Celebration DVD. I don't know how, again, that was another one. I just never saw it.
Her hair was black or brown.
It was so bad. It was horrible. I was like, what is this?
See,
I didn't like the Nikki Finn look.
You did or
Oh,
didn't?
but Nikki Finn was cute.
I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. When I saw that the album cover for Who's That Girl, I remember as a kid thinking she does not look pretty here.
It's like a cotton
and I know where the Cher voice is on that. So throughout the whole chorus, when she says "girl," who's that girl?
Especially in the Ciao Italia.
That's in the concert.
And then later, when she says "run faster," da 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 da. You're spinning round and round. You tell me,
but you can.
A mess.
Here comes a thumbs down. Boom, boom, boom. But thumbs down, my podcast.
Why is Who's That Girl so loved and treasured though?
I love it.
I like it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that like somebody, like I'll talk to one of my oldest friends and they'll name drop Who's That Girl if we start talking about Madonna, and I'm like, she was that bitch. She didn't seem like that bitch back then, but she's that bitch.
I always wanted to loop that opening percussion. Like that, but I wanted to loop that.
It's on the same level as Isla Bonita to me, like musically, sonically. It's Isla Bonita-ish. Like it's
all of the reviewers called it La Isla Bonita Junior.
See, I didn't feel like they're the same category.
Oh no, so same category.
They're very same category.
Super
Who's That Girl was more like fun and cute to me. La Isla Bonita is more
very.
Well, yeah.
La Isla Bonita was more serious and intense in it.
Correct.
And
this one's a little more fun and festive and
playful.
It's a celebration
of
fun.
It was super flirty.
Flirty. Cutesy.
If everyone had to pick, would you go Madonna, Who's That Girl, or Eurythmics, Who's That Girl?
Oh, we're Eurythmics.
Madonna.
Eurythmics.
All day.
I would pick Madonna. They're both good though.
I like them both, but I would.
I mean, that's a Sophie's choice because I love the Eurythmics. So
yeah.
Annie is serving it in that song.
For those of you who don't speak Spanish and are wondering, every time she says "Quién es esa niña?" Who's that? She's basically saying it in Spanish. "Quién es esa niña?" means who's that girl.
And God, that damn live version where she's like, because her voice, like she's saying that whole Ciao Italia live, but it didn't really sound the best in my opinion.
It's
like,
it's 8 minutes long.
Who's that girl? Like it goes on and on and on. By the time that ends, like I don't give a fuck who she is anymore. I don't care. That's my least favorite Madonna tour, the Who's That Girl tour. Do you guys like that one?
I mean, I was a kid, so I was 13 years old when I saw it. So I was like, I mean, it was amazing to me.
Sure.
But I mean, looking back, obviously in retrospect, I can critique it differently. But at the time, the light show, the palm trees showing up, and it was amazing. I literally had never seen anything before since it was my first concert.
I just remember when she came out of the phone booth for Dress You Up and had all that trash all over her. I'm like, girl, this isn't cute.
I know that some of you didn't have MTV, but I had MTV because I was blessed. Madonna Fonz.
Oh, yeah.
Every year on MTV. they would be playing Ciao Italia, all her videos, like for 24 straight hours. Like, who gets that? Nobody gets that.
24 hours they did it. I didn't have cable either back then, but my cousins
interviews, everything.
I didn't have cable back then, but my cousins did. And actually, both on weekends, that would be on 24 morning, day, and night. You flip into the channels, Madonna was on like on a loop. It was just
For Causing Commotion, didn't they show the live version as the video at the time?
They did. They showed it via satellite, I think, for an award show. I forget which. If it was the American Music Awards or they showed it somewhere. But they showed it live. It was the performance from the concert that was happening live that they via satellite into the show on Sunday.
And what do you all think of "Look of Love"?
I like "Look of Love."
Yeah,
I like it a lot. It's underrated. It's underrated.
It was a single overseas,
and it was a huge hit overseas.
Yeah,
it was a top 10 in a lot of markets.
I like it. It gives me that kind of sexy, chill Sade vibe.
Oh yeah.
And the B-side was "I Know It."
Oh girl.
Somebody needs to know.
They try to make "I Know It" happen.
They tried to sell that song.
Now, what other song would you put in the category as "Look of Love"? Like, what's a song that would pair with that one in Madonna's catalog? The original, the Stay demo. I put the Stay demo in with "Look of Love."
Stay demo. I would probably put
with the "Look of Love."
I don't know. Maybe even her "Something to Remember" remake of "Love Don't Live Here Anymore."
Okay,
that single should have been on that CD. "Something to Remember."
I think the "Look of Love" is it's really a haunting kind of song.
Yeah, I love that chorusy guitar in there. It's that late 80s guitar sound. That's they never really used it before or after that era.
I'll take the Dusty Springfield "Look of Love" better, or ABC's "Look of Love."
Oh my God, not ABC. Oh my goodness. But yes, they're better.
It's just, I don't know, for some reason that was just not, "Look of Love" and "Can't Stop" were just, it was "Can't Stop," right?
Yeah.
I don't know, I never really, neither of those really stuck with me, but it's like, it's weird because "Causing Commotion" and "Who's That Girl" were so great, and then the other two were like, eh.
"Can't Stop" is definitely kind of a throwaway, but I like it just because it's catchy and fun.
I love it. I love the bridge. I love the vocal. I think this is, once again, one of those songs where the music didn't do the lifting of, didn't carry the vocals, didn't carry the vocal melody, and the music's corny. It's a corny track, but the lyrics are pretty. It's if there was better music done, that could have been a hit song.
What are the lyrics in the bridge? The bridge isn't coming to me. I know it's good, but I'm just not, for some reason, I'm not recalling it.
I was literally just listening to it like 2 days ago. I can't think.
Got it. It's a great little bridge.
And then
I know it ends with "You'll come to me in time, can't stop." I know that's how you come out of the bridge, right?
And you can dance for inspiration.
I bet you can.
So,
are we breezing through that one too?
We should.
Well, let's talk about El Coco Loco.
Why?
I'm totally kidding. Is there any reason to talk about anything else on the "Who's That Girl" soundtrack?
Not really. You know what? I was kind of mad there was no video for "Causing Commotion" when they could have just used the entry, the opening scene. That cartoon Madonna is everything.
Oh yeah,
it is everything.
Yeah, I love that.
You know how many tattoos I've seen of that bitch?
Here's the song book for "Who's That Girl," the piano book.
Oh, good times.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Well, I liked the "Who's That Girl" soundtrack. It was a nice little extension of the True Blue era. It wasn't a reinvention. I feel like it was just kind of like more cutesiness of True Blue, Nikki Flynn. I didn't mind the "Who's That Girl" movie. I thought it was cute.
There was a demo for a song called "Tell Me," which I think was also going to be given to Nick Kamen. I actually think there's a version where you can find it online where he recorded it. Can't remember the melody for that either. But
did you guys like Each Time You Break My Heart? Did you guys like it? The Nick or Madonna's?
I listened to it only a couple times, so I had to revisit it, to be honest with you.
Okay. No, yeah, David.
I don't think I've heard it.
I haven't heard it in a minute.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's a cute song. I liked it.
I like it. I like Madonna's version better than Nick's, but
It was a song she wrote for some.
But she does the back vocals for Nick's. On Nick's, she does the back vocals for it, and there's pictures of them in the studio together, or video.
I've seen those photos before.
Yeah,
There was a guy that she did a song for like years later.
He's a good-looking dude.
He was really cute.
I can't think of the name of it. That was like another song she did for somebody, and it came out on his album. But when I lived in New York, my friend and I were having lunch, and he was sitting at the next table over. And like my friend said really loud, like, "Oh my god, that's so and so!" And then we ended up like having lunch with him.
Aw.
And I'm like totally blanking on his name right now. Fuck.
What year was it?
Nick Scotty.
Nick Scotty. That's it.
Scotty,
Nick
yeah,
Scotty.
yeah. From Kiss Me Guido.
Yes.
Kiss Me
100
Guido.
times.
Yeah. I have the movie somewhere.
I do too.
So
Yeah.
1987 was a big year. We had the later singles from True Blue. This was a piece of sheet music that was hard to find, but the Santa Baby sheet music. Remember, A Very Special Christmas came out that year, so we have Madonna's One Christmas Song. And then I went to the record store in late 1987.
Oh,
I saw this.
Yes.
That's the songbook, but here's the
that was a look.
here's the actual album.
Oh, good times.
And this was before the remix album was a common thing. So I was like, what the hell is this?
That was the first time.
That was the first one, right?
Yeah, where they
Probably.
actually mixed them into each other continuously, right?
Non-stop, yeah.
Because then there was
And
like
there were remixes.
there was
and
a
they were
second
Extended
wave.
mixes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the second wave where like Paula Abdul did hers, then Jody Watley did hers. But You Can Dance was definitely the first.
Shut up and dance.
Well, remember
That's a great album.
I love that.
the Eurythmics had a little EP called Touch Dance.
That's true. And those versions were terrible. Like almost every single one was like, what the fuck is this?
It was like the A side had the vocals, the B side was the instrumentals. But You Can Dance was really a proper release. And a rumor I heard once was that Prince pulled the Black album because he was mad that Warner Brothers was giving all their promotion to You Can Dance. So that's one rumor I heard through the years. Who knows if it's true or not? Did you ever hear that one, Jeffrey?
No, but knowing Prince.
Yeah, he was pissed that
Never.
Warner Brothers was giving all their promotional. And when you think about it, a lot of the versions from You Can Dance became the versions you really knew, because Into the Groove didn't have that piano solo till You Can Dance, and everyone knows that piano solo now because she used a lot of those versions on Immaculate Collection. She shortened them down, but
I love the Jelly Bean version on that of Everybody.
Yeah.
It is sick. And I found the extended standalone version unmixed, and it's just sick. And with the way it just starts.
I need to.
And it's pounding. Boom. It was like, holy shit, it's on another level. That's my favorite version of Everybody, actually, from that album. All the mixes on that are great.
Oh,
I'm just,
we got
I'm
mixes.
like, I wish Causing a Commotion had been part of that. It would have mixed well with Into the Groove, like you said, David.
I think you just recently sent the video to Spotlight in the group chat, and I'd never seen that before.
Oh, Spotlight! Oh my God,
It was like
video?
a Japanese commercial, or it was like a
That's
Japanese.
exactly what it was. It was a promotion for. It was only released in Japan. Spotlight.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before, and it was like, holy shit!
It was a reject for the True Blue recording sessions.
Can you pick? Wasn't it written by the same people that wrote Holiday, or am I totally imagining things?
It was, I believe, I want to say Stephen Bray, Madonna, and Curtis Hudson, half of the Holiday writing
Okay,
team.
and I feel the version for True Blue they updated a little bit for You Can Dance. I'd love to hear the original True Blue mix of I love Spotlight. I think it's a feel good.
I love it.
I do too.
It's another one that's up there with Causing a Commotion and Into the Groove.
It's okay.
I love it.
The lyrics are corny. She's basically saying you could be a star if you sing about it.
Right.
Or like,
but I love it.
Be the star of the night or of the show or whatever. You know, like she's like, don't stand in the corner, standing by yourself. You know, create your own music.
Right. Make it happen.
Dance. Like, don't be shy. Take a chance.
But it would, regardless of how I felt about it, it would have been a hit that she released it here because it had airplay. Once again, I'm like,
yeah,
and it had airplay without ever being released in the United States.
Exactly.
And the radio and on TV. It was played on TV and in the radio.
Yep,
you know
exactly.
What? The message she gave in that song, I bought in. Like, I would have been in 7th grade. That's when all the kids started thinking I was gay before I knew I was. Like, the kids knew years before I did, and they tortured probably all of us for it. But Spotlight, like, whatever message she was selling there, I was all in.
Me too.
Know,
I loved it. Love that song.
These fucking terrible kids in your high school telling you, you know, you're fucking faggot, blah blah. To have you go home and like everybody's a star, you know who you are. Like, thank God for fucking Spotlight. You know. One of my treasures in my collection is I have the You Can Dance the single edits where they fade out after every song. So these mixes, it was a promo CD that's pretty expensive. The mixes begin and end different than on the mixed together version. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out. You can download it.
Does that have the extended version of Everybody by itself?
Yep, it sure does.
Oh,
the single edit.
Love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, love that album.
Just like Confessions, if you go onto iTunes, there's the unmixed version, which some of the songs begin and end drastically different than the mixed together version.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Really?
It's good.
Drastically different, some of them, and it's cool.
Really?
Yeah. So I love You Can Dance. It was definitely, you know, a stopgap filler kind of thing, but I played the fuck out of it. It wasn't a throwaway album, was it to you guys?
No.
It was great. It was
the only way to get Spotlight. So.
Yeah.
It was the only way to get Spotlight.
Yeah.
Who's that girl?
But I wasn't living for Spotlight. I was living for all these long extended remixes. We got a remix for Over and Over. I was like, yeah.
I love that remix.
I know.
Over and Over. Oh my God.
And it was interesting that the LP and the CD and the cassette had different dub versions. So nowhere does it exist where all the mixes are on the same media. I think there's some things that were on the cassette that have never been put out on CD, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. There were some tracks that had different format on the cassette, on the CD, and on the vinyl.
Yep. The CD always got extra shit that vinyl and cassette didn't get.
Right,
because they were trying to push the people to change to CD at the time. You know, I did not want to give up vinyl when that was happening. I was upset about missing the artwork, about the lyrics that would be in the sleeve of the record. I was not happy about the CD when it came out. The change of format at all.
Compact disc.
Disc.
In those huge boxes. I was like, oh my God.
When it came in a long box?
Oh, goodness.
There she is. Our girl.
Actually, the True Blue cassette. The True Blue cassette came in a long weird box also. Like,
oh yes.
Yes, it did.
I like CDs because you could jump right ahead to the songs. They didn't scratch like records did. My records always scratched and skipped. And eventually my CDs did too.
And then tapes always got warped. Tapes would get warped or they'd get caught in the stereo, and that would
you had the pencil, you'd be like this with the pencil trying to get it
Remember,
back
sometimes they'd get like
it.
Sometimes it'd really get jammed and the actual tape was like zigzagged, like jagged edge. That was horrible. Oh my God.
I had the Beastie Boys album, and I played it so much that the tape had gotten faster, and then I wore it out, so I bought it on vinyl, and then when it was like normal speed, I thought the record was warped, so I took it back. And then I exchanged it for another one, and then it was like the same slower speed, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And like, so I took it back again, and they played it in that when they got the third one, they played it in the record store, like to prove to me that it was like the correct speed.
Well, True Blue, iconic, and I played the fuck out of Who's That Girl and You Can Dance. Everything from this era.
Get off this call and go listen to Live to Tell right now.
Yeah. What do you guys rate the Who's That Girl Madonna songs? Because the other songs didn't matter, unless you want to count El Coco Loco.
No, those songs didn't matter.
By Cody Mundy.
Yeah, Cody fucking Mundy.
Cosmic Commotion and Who's That Girl? 10 out of 10. The other two, like 3 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd say 10 out of 10 for those top two. 10 out of 10, and then Look of Love, I'd probably give it a 7, and then the other one I don't really care.
Yeah, Steven, I loved Can't Stop too.
I love Can't Stop. It's my guilty pleasure. I actually sent Jeff this in a message the other, like, what was it, a week ago? I sent you the audio for Can't Stop. I said, this is my guilty pleasure.
I did listen to that 24-hour song a lot because I was too lazy to get up after Look of Love.
What were the other song titles on there? I can't even remember them.
24 Hours by Duncan Fair, Step by Step, Club Nouveau, Turn It Up, Michael Davidson, Best Thing Ever, Scritti Politti, Can't Stop Madonna, and of course our beloved El Coco Loco, So Bad by Cody Mundy.
I remember that song. I think I found it funny or something, but I remember listening to that El Coco Loco. Wasn't it at least that's like makes a strange voice or something?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, something crazy like.
And for the record of the podcast, I put El Coco Loco in the same category as Did You Do It from Erotica.
I like that song.
I like Did You Do It?
I like it too.
Not me. All right, what do you guys rank You Can Dance?
6.
Album a 6.
I give it
I give it an 8.
9.
I give it a 9.
Even with Spotlight, 9.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because I think it elevated all of the material that it built upon, like over and over. It made Where's the Party so much better.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Oh.
I like the original versions better on a bunch of those. I know I'm sinning by saying that out loud.
No, I usually feel the same way. I like the original forms of stuff, which is why I actually like the extended versions of some of the True Blue songs because they basically are original.
Yes.
They're just letting you have a deeper look into the construction of those tracks and how all the different pieces that made them what they are.
Did you guys ever think it was interesting that she had all these remixes, but then she just dropped in the album version of Physical Attraction? They didn't even touch that from the
Because why do you need to touch something that's perfect to begin with? I don't get it.
I love Physical
And see,
Attraction.
that song contributes to my 6 because Physical Attraction is not one of my favorite Madonna songs of the classic
I remember,
era.
and it's one of mine. The reason I gave that album a 9 is because of Over and Over. Although I like that song, I feel it has no place in that dance album. It's too like boom boom, that's a new wave, yeah, like for sure. Like like all the other tracks are like hard dance club New York, type, almost freestylish sounding tracks. So I think that Over and Over should have been replaced with Causing a Commotion, and then it would have been a perfect for me.
And it's interesting because she brought Jelly Bean back for this, which he wasn't around for a while. And the True Blue remixes is where kind of Shep Pettibone kind of came into the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know what happened with him later. We all know where
that was
going.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Of Shep.
What was Shep's first Madonna remixes? Was it the True Blue remixes?
I believe it was. I think it was True Blue.
So did you guys ever think that the True Blue color mix would lead to Dita, our friend Dita?
It would lead to Express Yourself.
Express Yourself?
That's one of my, I can't even start with that one. It's my top 3 songs is the remix of Express Yourself.
And Shep tore it up.
He tore that motherfucker up.
Tore it up.
I love the remix and the album for Express. Well, I guess we'll talk about that next month.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, I could sit here another 4 hours, but we all have life, so.
Yes.
We talked for 2 hours and 2 minutes about Madonna. Our friend from Dance Party USA did not show up, but Jeff, would you want to give a shout out to her?
She can dance.
For inspiration.
No, just wanted to give a shout out to Lillian from Dance Party USA. She's a regular dancer on the TV show, and she's a huge Madonna fan like us. And every time they did the team lip sync off, she always 9 out of 10 times chose Madonna. Yes. And she always liked to choose like the extended versions and things like that, like stuff that you and like we here would think about. And they allowed it. And at the time, copyright stuff was different, so she was able to do it. And then she also sang a snippet of Spotlight live a cappella on the show.
And it was great.
And she got a record deal to do a couple of dance songs. They didn't get released, but then she was chosen to do a compilation album called Power Hits 87. And it was like all the dance hits of 1987, which included Expose and all these other groups and artists. And she did do vocals on that with other session singers. And it's a hard to find thing. And I was like, give me the title because I want to get this album. She actually emailed me. I mean, she messaged me the title, and I found it on eBay. She was like, holy shit, you found it. So yeah.
I keep wishing her name would pop into the chat. I'm
sorry?
I keep wishing her name would pop into the waiting room. She had to work tonight.
I know. She was trying to make it, and she made it in time out of work. So she talked to me before the chat started. But she was like, if I make it, I'll jump in. And I was like, I think we're going to be speaking longer than an hour, Jeremy said, because we're going to be touching a couple other albums after. Like, Who's That Girl? You Can Dance. And she was like, oh, okay, good. And then, but I guess she didn't make it in time. It's cool.
So after Who's That Girl, Madonna just kind of disappeared for a little bit and went off to do Broadway, Speed the Plow, right?
Yep.
Speaking of disappearing, I have to disappear.
Yeah, so we're let's wrap this up. I'm gonna pause it so we can all talk for a second, but to my Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/Jeremy Gloff. Thanks for making this possible. Subscribe. Madonna, we'll see you next month with Like a Prayer.